This is Eddie Hearn, Matchroom Boxing. You're watching Sporting Icons. You don't need to be anywhere else.
Haters are actually a very, very important part of the boxing market and PR system. They're actually feeding the machine, and they unconsciously don't know this, okay? Because the more you talk about, say, Eddie Hearn, Matchroom, Anthony Joshua, the more people are going to look at you and go, I disagree with you, and then start watching Eddie Hearn, Anthony Joshua, and Matchroom shows, when previously they may not have done. Okay? And people just don't realise that. So the more you talk about him, the more he loves it. Because he knows he's building a fan base. Listen, he's probably a celebrity wannabe. He wants to be a celebrity. He wants to be a household name. People say Eddie Hearn is arrogant. He is arrogant. He is ignorant. He says that Shelley Finkel is rude and ignorant for not responding to any kind of emails that he's sending. And he's even sending them to his secretary to say, are you being rude about this? It's very two-faced of him to say that. But, listen, is he putting on boxing shows? Yes. Is he putting on shows that we like? Yes. Is he getting people talking about boxing? Yes. So that's all a good thing. Feeding the machine, which is boxing. I am fully aware that whenever I talk about Wilder, I'm making him popular. Other channels who are talking about Wilder, whether it be positive or negative, I'm making him popular. So, but you see, I don't have an agenda to try and make it so people don't watch Wilder. The Wilder fanatical channels have an agenda to try and turn people off from watching any Eddie Hearn show or any kind of fights that Anthony Joshua has. But in fact, they're actually doing the opposite. But they're not smart enough to realise that. So, of course, when it comes down to the alleged record of ticket sales at Madison Square Garden, where Joshua vs. Miller broke the boxing record in only 2 hours, I've seen in my comment section since yesterday, since I did that video, where some people will say that Eddie Hearn bought these tickets himself to sell them on the secondary market to make money. Now, if you say that to yourself and you convince yourself that it's true, as I said, some people will lie so much that they convince themselves that it's true, okay? And they get their own personal feelings involved in this. But think about it. Eddie Hearn would put up, say, for example, £100 tickets, £200 tickets, £400 tickets, £1,000 tickets. He's then going to buy them, put them on secondary market to make more money, which is illegal. So if he ever got caught doing that, he would be fined, he would lose his promoter's license, his business would go through the floor. He would be publicly shamed, he'd never be able to work again. His dad would probably disown him because his dad would never ever allow Eddie Hearn to do something illegal. Barry has been through scenarios before where his company was on its knees facing bankruptcy due to recession and other things going on. So he would not risk anything. He would not allow Eddie Hearn to be so stupid. Personally, I don't think Eddie Hearn would do that anyway. So Eddie Hearn would do that illegally and risk it all for what reason? Why not just put these £100 tickets up to £150 tickets? Make them £200 tickets instead, which is legal. He can charge whatever he likes on the gate. So why not do that? So again, you have to ask yourself, why would you come out with this kind of narrative? Some people just wake up each and every morning looking for a reason to hate on Eddie Hearn and Anthony Joshua. Why? Because what they really want is Tyson Fury to be the star. For me, I have no horse to pick. When it comes to Joshua, when it comes to Tyson Fury, these two guys fight, may the best man win. I'm British bias. That doesn't mean that I dislike all non-Brits, not at all. There's many, many, many fighters that I'm a huge fan of. But ultimately, you put one of them in the ring with a Brit, my national pride wants the Brit to win. Even if I like the American guy more. That's just how it is. But many people, especially the Wilder fanatical channels, will just make video after video after video hating on Eddie Hearn, hating on Joshua. But of course, when they turn up in New York, when they turn up in in Boston, when they turn up in Kansas, these people will go to their shows. These people will go to the press conference to try and get interviews, views, money, all that kind of thing. For me, if you don't like him, why turn up? It's very two-faced and it's very female to do so. Some of them think that I'm going to run up on Eddie Hearn, I'm going to run up on Anthony Joshua. It's YouTube. Get a life. Okay? Now, for Eddie Hearn to buy these tickets and resell them, no, at all. Not going to happen. Never would happen. As I said, why do that when he can just put the price up on the tickets himself? In addition to that, Joshua versus Miller is in New York, in a market that is, I don't want to say dying, but not far off. It's not as popular as it once was. People say that Joshua is not a big name in America. Wilder is the heavyweight star in America. Joshua is not. People don't know Joshua. People don't know big baby Jarrell Miller. Even in New York, where Miller's from, people don't know him. This is what people say. So why would Eddie Hearn risk millions of his own money to do this? For what? For people to say, oh, well, this event sold out. This event broke records. And then for those who do turn up to the event, sit there, look around and go, where's everybody else? Because then it will be obvious what it is that he's done. If people don't know Joshua, if people don't know Miller, why would he do that? It makes no sense. But of course, people have overlooked the star power of Anthony Joshua. Not just here in the UK, because there's plenty of UK fans here, and an alleged 13,000 people are going to be travelling to New York to watch him fight big baby Jarrell Miller at Madison Square Garden. 13,000. That's an insane amount of numbers. Much like it was with Tyson Fury and Deontay Wilder. That event, okay, it didn't sell out. It had 17,500 in the arena out of a potential 21,000, but only 13,000 were sold, allegedly. So really it was somewhat of a flop, but that's because it was on US soil and people just don't gravitate towards Wilder. It was Tyson Fury that sold that entire event. It was Tyson Fury. The American public warmed to Tyson Fury. They're not warming to Wilder. One of the reasons that they're not warming to him is that old saying, if you lay with dogs, eventually you'll get fleas. Okay, because a lot of the channels who really support Wilder, people are negative towards, because these people are negative people. I'm not talking about his entire fan base, not at all. He's got a lot of good fans. I'm talking about a certain section of the ones who push out narratives, who just do hate videos. Hate, hate, hate. On Anthony Joshua, everything's positive Wilder. When people are smart, okay, unfortunately there's a lot of people who aren't. There's a lot of people who will just believe whatever it is people say, rather than look at it for yourself. And that's what these people rely on. They rely on zombies. That's what they rely on. They want their super chats. People will stupidly donate money to them, not thinking that they're actually being lied to. But there's a lot of people who will look at them in America. Americans will look at these channels and go, man, you're lying. You're a con man. And will automatically, where maybe they once were Wilder fans, or they want to be Wilder fans, don't want to be, because they don't want to be associated with these people. Joshua doesn't have that. Listen, we have some UK channels here who just don't like Joshua. Why? Because they favour Tyson Fury. Or they don't like Eddie Hearn. I mean, who wakes up each and every morning to hate? And they call themselves hardcore boxing fans. To be a hardcore boxing fan does not mean you have to hate on Eddie Hearn. It doesn't work that way. And then they come out with narratives such as Eddie Hearn bought all these tickets. But yet, the more you talk about Eddie Hearn, the more popular you're making him. Whether you're talking about him positively or negatively, you're making him popular, which is what he wants. As I said before, he wants to be a celebrity. He's an arrogant person. He really is. But, likewise, I talk about Wilder. Sometimes it's negative. Usually it's negative with regards to his career. But I know I'm making him popular. So for people to say that Eddie Hearn would risk his business, risk his reputation, and risk money to buy tickets for himself, what's he going to do with all these tickets when they don't sell? Because Jarrell Miller is not popular in America, right? What's he going to do with them all? Just think about it. You're allowing your own hatred, for whatever reason. You're hating somebody who you don't know for absolutely no reason. And you're coming out with these narratives. If you're going to come out with a narrative, at least be realistic about it. Eddie Hearn buying the tickets himself? No, it just isn't going to happen. It could happen in the UK and he would make money back. But again, illegal. Why not just bump the prices up of the tickets? People moan about the fact he puts on pay-per-view at £20. £20, not exactly a lot of money, is it? Imagine paying the $75 that Americans have to pay. Imagine that. And people want to moan because what, he bumped the prices up of pay-per-views by what, £2 over the last few years? Wow. Wow. Even the pay-per-views were £30, £40. It's still not a lot, really. Well, unless you haven't got it, then of course it's a lot. Any amount of money is a lot if you haven't got it. But people just find a reason to hate, and this is the new one where Eddie Hearn is buying the tickets to resell to make more money or to make it look like the figures are better than what they really are. Absolute madness. Absolute madness. And you're just exposing yourself. Now I don't know if channels are talking about this. I have no idea. I don't watch these people. But just going by some of the comments that I see, not only here on YouTube, but also on social media, just stop reaching. If you want to try and criticize Eddie Hearn, criticize him. For me, I like it when channels criticize him. I find it funny. Because sometimes I agree with them with certain things. But listen, it is what it is. So anyway, you drop your thoughts below. Do you believe that Eddie Hearn bought these tickets? And if you do, for what possible end? Drop your thoughts below, click thumbs up, and of course subscribe. Catch you all on the next video.